You know what else is not? It's not good news. It's not bad news. It's just interesting news. Tencent is investing 1.16 billion euros in Ubisoft's new subsidiary. So Ubisoft has formed, so it's starting to happen. It's starting to catch up. There's been this question of Ubisoft is like this big bloated whale, and they have too many staff. They have too much stuff. The projects get too big, and it is just not scalable. It's not stable or yeah. It what the heck is the word that I'm looking for? It's consistent. I don't know what the word dude. I've been waiting for too long. So like, okay, when is Ubisoft gonna fold? And it looks like this really feels like the beginning of that process. Now, apparently, Assassin's Creed Shadows was quite the success, critically and commercially. So, good for them, I guess. I'm glad that the game was good. Going into that release, there was a lot of pressure on that game's shoulders and that team's shoulders. Because if that thing flopped, there was a decent chance that like that would be the first real domino to topple Ubisoft's little French kingdom. But it didn't, so it looks like it's going to be just kind of like instead of like a big dramatic series of failures, like a slightly slower petering out. And that's kind of my prediction. That's kind of what this reads to me as. Forming a new... So what they have done is they have formed a new subsidiary. And it's basically like, here's this subsidiary... Do they even have like a name for it? No? No, like they don't even have a name for this subsidiary. It's basically just... This is the part of the company that's handling all of the actual money maker, like valuable properties. So it's coming from TechNode, courtesy of Jesse Wu. Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. So yeah, basically Rainbow Six, Far Cry, and Assassin's Creed. The three ones that matter, including past titles, ongoing projects, and future releases. So just like the whole those entire franchises. 6 studios in Montreal and other locations will also join the subsidiary. Ubisoft will grant exclusive, permanent global IP rights to the subsidiary and receive royalties. This is the part. This is the part where you're like, okay, they are slowly cannibalizing them. They're slowly chopping pieces of themselves off to sell. Like, I don't really need... who needs a liver? I've got 2 kidneys. I could go without one. You know, I could spare a kidney. They're keeping Ghost Recon. They're keeping The Division and that stuff and whatever else they own. Rayman, I guess. But yeah, so Tencent is a partner who has invested, I'm making air quotes, you can't see that, I'm making air quotes, invested 1.16 billion euros into this subsidiary. They didn't buy it out. They did not buy it out. The company's not folding, okay? It's not a buyout. They're not buying those properties. They're just investing in the brand new subsidiary that happens to completely own most of their valuable properties. Like specifically the part that gets me is, oh no, this isn't like a particular wing that's been made at the company for managerial reasons or something like that. No, like Ubisoft doesn't own those anymore. They get royalties. Like they kind of own them, but they're like sort of sharing them, which is the first step. So yeah, Tencent wants some of that. They want to grab some of that. What do you think? Does this mark the slow, embarrassing auctioning off of the Ubisoft estate? Because I won't lie, there is, like, I say embarrassing, but there's a real chance that if this just ends up becoming like a Tencent thing, that like these properties might be treated better than with Ubisoft. I don't know. Tencent's big and evil, but like a change in management, who knows? Maybe they could be extremely benevolent. I also really like how much this article is enforcing that Ubisoft is in dire straits at the moment. Why it matters. In recent years, Ubisoft has seen the poor performance of several games, a fall in stock prices, and shareholder concerns over management. The deal is considered a key move in its financial restructuring and strategic transformation. I would love, there's a real magic. There's a real like magic in a very, like a magician, like a stage magician. There's this aspect to PR responses. Like how do we take this extremely bad news for us and spin it as a good thing? And like this is them like shoving the swords in the box with the lady in it, and then being like, no, she's fine, guys, she's fine. French gaming giant Ubisoft is in the midst of a severe financial crisis. Since early 2024, its stock price has fallen more than 45%. Ugh. This has raised widespread concerns about the company's future, with some analysts predicting bankruptcy or acquisition. It's not an acquisition. They just made I'm not selling my house. I'm just leasing out part of it permanently and walling off that part of the house from where I live, okay? Star Wars Outlaws, the company's new adventure game last July, failed to meet sales targets because it's an Ubisoft game and they can't control their budgets, prompting Ubisoft to lower its revenue forecast for the 2025 fiscal year from 2.3 billion euros to 1.95 billion euros. Oh yeah, and Shadows got delayed. I forgot about that. Shadows did get delayed, and that did hit the stock price a little bit. So yeah, the great auctioning of the Ubisoft estate has begun. Put your bets down. How soon do you think that it's gonna all come apart? Who's gonna keep Rayman in the divorce? I joke, but I do, obviously we just talked about the union and all that. I do hope that a lot of the people who are gonna suffer from the management at Ubisoft get good opportunities after this.